Rumi vs Jinx. Who wins in an all-out fight? Well, in this video, I'm gonna cover and compare each of their skills and attributes. So without further ado, let's start analyzing and figure out who would emerge victorious in an all-out fight. After her mom mysteriously died, Rumi, born half-demon, was raised by Celine, a former K-pop star and demon hunter. Growing up, she was taught to hide her demon heritage by Celine, who believed all demons were inherently evil and anything related to a demon had to be eliminated. This caused Rumi to develop a deep-seated self-loathing, which only worsened over time. As she trained to be a demon hunter under Celine, she met her best friends Mira and Zoe along the way, and together they formed the K-pop group Thnx. To the world, they were beloved K-pop idols, but secretly they hunted demons who feasted on human souls. Despite being adored by millions of fans, Rumi never truly felt accepted. Celine had instilled in her the belief that her demon patterns were a constant stain, preventing her from ever being truly human and accepted. Because of this, Rumi sought a way to get rid of them permanently. She was convinced that by sealing the Golden Hanmoon, a barrier that prevents demons from attacking and stealing the souls of people, it would somehow purify her and remove her demon patterns, finally allowing her to be completely human and accepted. Ashamed of her demon heritage and seeing it as a flaw that needed to be erased, Rumi started to lose her voice. It isn't until she meets Jehvius, a demon who reveals the idea that not all demons are inherently evil, that things begin to change. Through their interactions, Rumi starts to accept herself, realizing that both her human and demon sides are a part of who she is. This process of self-acceptance not only allowed her singing voice to heal, but also unlocked her true power, enabling her to create and seal a new Hanmoon. Rumi was trained to be a demon hunter at an early age, which meant she had to learn how to fight effectively. Although it isn't explicitly stated if Rumi knows martial arts, her role as a demon hunter implies she has extensive training and combat skills. She's quick on her feet, and her reaction time is beyond impressive, allowing her to dodge and counterattack with ease, sometimes even before her opponents have a chance to strike. Not only is she skilled in hand-to-hand combat, but she's also incredibly agile. She's able to move and twist her body in ways that take extreme precision and strength. For example, during her fight with Jehvius, she twisted her body 180 degrees mid-air to perform a front kick, immediately after lunging for a strike. To do something like this requires a significant amount of core and leg strength, not to mention exceptional balance and body control. This type of move is typically seen in martial arts like Taekwondo, so it's safe to say Rumi likely learned martial arts during her training. She also has a Saingum sword, which is the weapon she uses most of the time, but it has its own perks. She can summon it out of thin air, without any apparent limit, and for demons, it's a one-strike weapon. A single hit is enough to defeat them instantly. She's also got crazy precision when it comes to her aim, being able to throw her sword and headshot demons from pretty far away. It can even act as a shield barrier, protecting Rumi from any blast or attacks. Not to mention, her sword also receives an upgrade after it's manifested with Jehvius' soul. Rumi is durable enough to jump from a plane without any proper equipment and land without a scratch on her. Planes usually cruise at altitudes between 30,000 and 42,000 feet, or 9,100 to 12,800 meters, and it's possible she jumped from heights even higher than that. The plane was cruising above the highest clouds, which means it would have had to be at least 47,520 feet or 15,000 meters high. Even when she's diving in the sky, she's going through the mid to lower clouds, which proves just how high she originally jumped from. She's half demon, which suggests the potential that Rumi has superhuman strength, surpassing normal human capabilities. Her demon powers include teleportation, which would be quite useful in a fight when she needs to dodge or quickly reposition herself to gain the upper hand. In her demon form, she can grow razor-sharp claws, adding to her offensive capabilities. She is also tough enough to withstand the power of Kima, the demon king of the underworld, who can evaporate demons with ease. Plus, she can levitate. At this point, what can't she do? Born in the harsh undercity of Piltover called Zon, Jinx once went by the name Powder. After her parents tragically died during a failed uprising against Piltover, Powder was protected and raised by her older sister Vi and her adoptive father figure Vander. Even without proper schooling or training, Powder was remarkably intelligent for her age, capable of creating and building mechanical gadgets and explosive devices. Seeing her inventions as extensions of herself, she often gave her creations different personalities by drawing on them and naming them. However, Powder never felt her inventions or skills were important to her group, which consisted of Milo, Clagger, and Vi. Powder often felt like a burden because she physically couldn't keep up with the rest of the group. Although she was a gifted inventor, her inventions frequently backfired, leading to her being seen as a liability. It didn't help that Milo constantly called her names and blamed her for failed jobs, at one point even calling her a jinx. As a child, Powder showed signs of severe mental health struggles, experiencing hallucinations and paranoia, but unfortunately, she wasn't able to get the help she needed. During an attempt to rescue Vander from Silco and his goons, Powder accidentally caused a massive explosion using a Hextech gemstone, killing her adoptive siblings Milo and Clagger, and severely injuring Vander. In the chaotic aftermath, Vi, heartbroken and overwhelmed, seemingly abandoned her, also calling her a jinx before being taken away by enforcers. This dramatic moment marked Powder's rapid descent into madness. She was then taken in by Silco, a crime lord in the Undercity, who twisted her perceptions and exploited her trauma to mold her into his personal enforcer, embracing the name Jinx. When we first meet Jinx, she's already doing jobs for Silco that involve a much more violent approach to success. It's apparent that she's no longer the timid little girl we once knew. Where she once needed Vi's protection to survive, she's now able to hold her own in a fight. She's strong enough to grab onto a planted metal spear and launch herself into the air, landing on someone's head and knocking them out. This takes extraordinary grip, upper body, and core strength to support your body weight and propel yourself into the air like that. Even before she's boosted with Shimmer, she's able to dodge and counterattack in fights fairly quickly, sometimes dodging before her opponents even have a chance to strike. Although Jinx's fighting style is mostly self-taught, she's still able to keep up with and sometimes beat people who are physically more capable than she is. Also, she's durable enough to tank a grenade that's only a couple feet away from her face, albeit this did knock her unconscious and probably would have killed her if she wasn't saved by Singed, who gave her a much more refined dose of Shimmer, which is a substance that enhances someone's strength, speed, endurance, and durability. So everything she was good at before was enhanced, including her already remarkable accuracy. And Jinx has a ton of custom gadgets and weapons, like Pow Pow, the machine gun she rapidly fires, or Zapper, the pistol she often uses in close range combat. She even has a rocket launcher called Fishbones, which is essentially the supersized version of her already deadly grenades. And Jinx isn't dumb enough to rush into a fight if she can prepare herself ahead of time, often by planting traps to give her an extra advantage. But Shimmer Jinx is a different beast. Most of the time, she's unmatched, rivaled only by Vi or Warwick, who is a literal mutated and enhanced beast, and she's quick enough to dodge attacks from Rictus, someone highly skilled and trained to adapt and kill effectively. It's safe to say Jinx is one of the most terrifying opponents you could be put up against. Both of these girls have shown an extraordinary amount of strength. They can both move their bodies in ways that take a crazy amount of core, upper body, and leg strength, not to mention precise body control. While not turning her into a hulking brute, Shimmer gives Jinx a significant strength boost. She can effortlessly handle weapons like her minigun, Pow Pow, and rocket launcher Fishbones, which would be extremely heavy for a normal person. Jinx was able to hold her body weight on one arm with ease. Albeit for a quick moment, it still shows just how physically fit she is. She's able to perform a spinning back kick, which requires a high degree of explosive power, rotational strength, dynamic balance, and flexibility. She's able to do this and knock her opponent back a couple of feet. But Rumi could do this exact same move, if not better. Rumi was able to perform a front kick after rotating her body mid-air, kicking Genu so hard he landed on his bum. And Genu is no regular guy, he's a demon, which implies he has super strength. Although Jinx's spinning back kick was impressive, she was only able to knock back her opponent a couple feet. Rumi is strong enough to overpower literal demons, who in turn overpower fully grown people. Jinx, on the other hand, wasn't even able to beat Vi's boxing machine record, which Vi set when she was around 14 to 16 years old. Furthermore, Jinx couldn't beat Echo one-on-one, and he's definitely not classified as a fighter. Even if we acknowledge her strength while infused with Shimmer, which she's still not much stronger than she was before, Vi is able to match Jinx's enhanced strength without needing any Shimmer at all. And Vi is just a naturally strong and skilled fighter. She doesn't have any superhuman feats. Rumi was able to overpower and pin down Jinnu, and Jinnu was shown to have feats way stronger than any human. Strength goes to Rumi. It's no secret that both Rumi and Jinx are extremely fast, way faster than any normal human. When Rumi was chasing after Jinnu, she was able to catch up to him in seconds. Although Jinnu was not running his fastest, it's still impressive how Rumi propelled herself through the hallway to catch him. Based on the visual cues of the hallway, Rumi leaped about 8 to 10 meters, or 26 to 32 feet in under a second. Not only is she able to propel herself with immense force and speed, she also has a good stride or pace that allows her to cover approximately 14 to 14.9 meters, or 46 to 48 feet in only around 1.5 seconds. This means that at this pace, Rumi could run 100 meters in about 10.13 to 10.79 seconds, and that's before she fully accepts her demon heritage, which allows her to run much faster. Rumi is pretty fast running at an athletic level, but her speed doesn't compare to Jinx's. Jinx is able to dodge her opponents milliseconds before they land a strike, even when those opponents are as fast or faster than she is. Her reaction speed is simply unmatched. She can dodge hits without even anticipating them. While Rumi is also very quick on her feet, her reaction speed still doesn't compare to Jinx's. Jinx is visibly much faster than she is. She's able to dodge and counterattack the likes of Warwick, a beast that surpasses even the feats of a superhuman. Rumi could definitely outrun Jinx in a battle of endurance, I'll give her that, but I think it's pretty clear who wins the speed category. Despite lacking a formal education, Jinx is still extremely intelligent. She has built inventions that have made scientists like Victor and Jace acknowledge her work. She was able to weaponize a Hextech gemstone simply by observing Jace's and Victor's notes. She's also very strategic, setting up traps and diversions to achieve her goals. She's really good at problem solving and adapting to situations that are often unconventional. On the other hand, Rumi hasn't shown a level of genius that matches or even comes close to Jinx's. Although Rumi is combat smart, she never fights anyone that makes her think outside of her direct fighting skills or abilities. Jinx has been put in much harsher and tougher situations that require a high level of thinking. Intellect goes to Jinx. While Jinx may not always emerge victorious in her fights, this doesn't take away from her remarkable durability. Jinx has taken multiple blows to the face, and was able to survive a grenade explosion that was only a couple feet away from her. She was able to tank multiple hits from Vi while Vi was using her Hextech gauntlets. At one point, she was punched through a stone column, which would require an unimaginable level of durability, and yet she was able to keep fighting. As impressive as this is, it doesn't compare to Rumi's durability. Rumi jumped from a plane at least 40,000 feet in the air and landed without a scratch on her. That means Rumi is capable of absorbing around 84,000 joules of energy, which means her body would need to be infinitely stronger than any known material. That feat alone clears anything Jinx has tanked in Arcane. Even when Jinnu tried to slice Rumi's arm, he only managed to cut a part of her sleeve, not damaging her at all. Although Jinx has been cut and able to walk it off, Rumi's durability far exceeds that of a human being. Rumi takes this category no competition. Jinx's Shimmer enhancement and Rumi's demon abilities are both incredible powers to have. Jinx's Shimmer allows her to move at superhuman speeds, giving her remarkable reflexes, incredible agility, and possibly a healing factor. However, it doesn't enhance her strength to extraordinary levels. Because Rumi is half demon, her strength is naturally more powerful than any human's. Her demon abilities allow her to grow razor-sharp claws, which could easily cut through clothing, suggesting suggesting they're as sharp as a very well-honed knife. She can teleport and levitate, seemingly without limit. Outside of her demon abilities, she can summon her weapon out of thin air. Jinx's powers, on the other hand, seemingly only work in short bursts. This is a limitation or weakness Rumi hasn't been shown to have. Rumi's inherent demon abilities and supernatural capabilities clearly give her the advantage in this category. The purple braided one gets the point. While Jinx is undoubtedly a formidable fighter, her chaotic and impulsive style would ultimately be her undoing against Rumi's precise technique and disciplined approach. Although Jinx can contend with powerhouses like Warwick, she primarily relies on her weapons and gadgets, rather than her raw physical strength. This reliance means she's significantly less effective without her tools. If Jinx could keep her distance at an optimal range, utilizing her mobility and explosive arsenal, she might pose a significant threat. However, Rumi's ability to teleport and levitate would make it incredibly difficult for Jinx to control the engagement distance or establish any meaningful advantage. Rumi can close or create distance instantly, negating Jinx's primary tactical approach. While Jinx's arsenal is undeniably destructive, Rumi's ability to conjure a protective shield barrier would be a major hurdle for Jinx to overcome. Considering Rumi's exceptional durability and strength, Rumi could withstand Jinx's most powerful attacks, making it incredibly challenging for Jinx to inflict significant damage. Ultimately, for Jinx to land decisive blows, she would frequently find herself drawn into close quarters, a range where she's at a distinct disadvantage. Rumi's extensive martial arts training and superior hand-to-hand combat skills would quickly overwhelm Jinx even with her shimmer enhancements. Jinx has struggled in close-range combat against less skilled opponents than Rumi. In a direct confrontation, Rumi's raw power and vast abilities would simply prove too much. The winner is Rumi. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing if you haven't already. And with all that being said, I hope to see you next time.